Hello everyone, Lothran here again, and tonight we have the third edition of Stories from the Heart of the Jakuls. While not as scary as our previous two entries, the third story is no less important to the way Jakuls think and behave. Here we have Kindred Traversal. So sit back, get comfortable, grab a snack, settle in. I'm your host, Lothran, and this is Kindred Traversal. "Help your mother!" Arlo shouted back to his son. Holden tugged at his mother's side, yanking with all the might he could muster of his relatively small frame. His father fell back a few more steps, slashing at the last thing following them. "Work with me, Ma!" he shouted as he pulled his mother further down the treacherous mountain path. He managed to drag her a few feet until he had to turn and face the distant look in her eyes. Slap! Holden didn't realize it at first, but it was he who had struck his mother. "Get a fucking grip!" Holden shouted at the prone form of his quivering parent. She still gripped his sister's empty swaddling clothes as if they were her very life force. Screams, great bellowing, guttural, tormented howls of utmost suffering echoed from the village, not too far behind them. "We need to go! Dad's holding it back! We need to fucking go! Slap!" Holden struck her again, a feat he never would have dreamed of before this moment. This time, it did the trick. His mother slowly stood up and sought to lean on her son's shoulder as she wobbled along. Holden took it as a small victory, winding up and down the rambling, rock-strewn pathway toward the nearest settlement. Every now and again he could hear his father cursing distantly behind them, or he'd catch a clang of sword on stone-hard bone, or he'd hear the pain-drenched shrieks of the low ones his father was somehow holding at bay. He kept running. Holden kept practically dragging his mother. He kept moving them forward. They had to escape. As far as they knew, the town and everyone in it was dead or dying. "Dadoosh! Shit!" Holden leapt at the sound, dragging his struggling parent along behind him. "Dadoosh!" The slow, careful plodding of the long strides. Unmistakable. "Dadoosh! Dadoosh! Dadoosh!" It's getting closer. A Greckenwald! How could they hope to outrun or outlast a Greckenwald? They were completely screwed. Dadoosh, 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 dadoosh. Holden felt the mighty, muscular limbs sweep him aside as if he were little more than a dust bunny on a wood floor. He crumpled into a heap as every part of his body cried out in ache and agony. Holden slowly got up, looking about him. Nothing. Not the trail, not his mother, not his father, not a low one, not the cloud of cacophonious, pain-nettle-breathing Greckenwald. Nothing. Holden grimaced as he tried to put weight on his right leg. His foot was mangled. He tore his gaze away, not even trying to think about how he hadn't felt that mess until he'd looked at it. He could feel his vital sustenance gushing freely from the injury. He would not live long. The knowledge struck him like a spear to the heart. He knew it. There was no argument, just cold, hard logic and truth. Soon, he would be dead. He took a moment and a few calming breaths. "Holden!" He heard a distant shout, so distant that he wasn't sure who it was that called out to him. "Here!" he rasped rather weakly, feeling the strain on his drowning lungs. There was that to worry about as well. Not for long, though. "Here!" Holden managed as much of a shout as his draining life force would allow. "Holden!" Someone strode into view. "It's me. It's your dad." "Arlo, so nice of you to see me off." Holden let himself fall roughly back on his rump. "You fine, Ma?" Arlo tilted his head oddly. "She should be with you." "Greckenwald." Holden replied, choosing not to elaborate, mostly because he didn't have the strength left in him. Arlo fell silent, shaking his head. Haven't seen her. A lot of blood, though. They both waited through a patient moment. Do you have any spark powder? Holden asked of his father, with a bit of a gurgle to his words. As much as I could gather before all this, Arlo replied rather distantly, his hands gripping his sword and shield as if they were vital parts of his own flesh. A few handfuls, not enough to really hurt a Greckenwald. I could piss it off a bit, Holden joked before spraying a few splatters of blood onto his chest. Arlo laid down his shield, but not his sword, as he drew forth the powder and the fire sticks and the flint that he had on him. He said, "Take my shield, boy." "Father, you asked me once why it curves more than any other in the hamlet. You can use the shape to guide a blast. It'll do more damage. Not enough, but more is better than almost none." Arlo set up the trap for his son. As he finished, they both heard it approaching, like electric lightning echoing from the mouth of 1,000 abyssal monsters, the cry of a single Greckenwald. They ate slowly, their only true weakness. It's done with your mother. It'll come back for you soon. I'll be on my way, boy. I'm proud of you. Holden nodded, picking up the tools that would allow him to at least strike the beast that had killed him, drawing the sword from his belt in case he lived long enough to stab with it. Arlo fled, running off into the darkness of the greater deep well. He ran for hours. He heard the blast distantly. A well-fed Greckenwald liked to lumber toward fallen prey, slowly encircling it to make sure it had little fight left in it. And the sound, even so far off, ripped and tore apart the sky, the grievous howling of the beast echoing across the mountain wastes. Arlo ran, knowing it would come for him. Dudush! It had caught up. Half a day's run on. It was still there. Dudush, dudush! Slowly it gained pace as Arlo tired ever more. Dudush, 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 dudush! Massive plodding steps careening ever closer. Arlo would never make it. He'd never get to the next town. He'd never live to see another dawn. Dudush, 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 dudush! Arlo turned to the stampede of towering flesh catapulting itself his way. He faced his fate with his sword still wet with the blood of 12 low ones. The Greckenwald faltered, halting in its steps, unsure as its thick, viscous-like blood seeped from its fire-scorched features. Arlo grinned. And so concludes Kindred Traversal. I've been your host, Lothran. Join us tomorrow night when we discuss the cultural importance of this story and how widespread it's wrapped its roots into the Jakuls' mindsets. As always, I encourage each and every one of you to stay safe out there.